Starting lineups being announced to the crowd. First for the Harlan Lady Dragons. There you see Brooklyn Massengale, number 5, a 5'6" junior transferred from Harlan County during the off-season. Number 25, the lone senior for Harlan City this season, Macy Charles, a 5'8" senior. Mackenzie King, number 31, a 5'10" freshman for Coach Derek Acow. Emma Bianchi, a 6' sophomore. Her play tonight will be big against Brooke Asher in the post for Leslie County. And of course, Jordan Brock, 00, a 5'7" sophomore. So Tanner, there you go, a senior, a junior, 2 sophomores, and a freshman for these Lady Dragons of Harlan City, looking to advance to the championship game on Saturday against the Lady Eagles of Leslie County, who has a strong showing across the way.
Fans here from both schools as we get a look at Leslie County's starting lineup.
Shelby Sparks, 5'5" sophomore, number 11 for Leslie. Caitlin Farler, the defensive specialist, 5'7" senior for Coach Mark Collett. There you see Miss Katie Moore, 25 points per game, 7.9 rebounds per contest for the 5'10" senior. Madison Combs, you heard Mark Collett say the last time she played in this gym, she had 7 threes in the All-A Classic last year. And the big girl in the middle, 6' senior Brooke Asher for Mark Collett. So the battle of Emma Bianchi and Brooke Asher could be an interesting one to watch tonight.
And, you know, we spent much of our pregame breaking down the matchups on the perimeter and how each of these teams are so proficient from the perimeter. But, you know, anytime you do that, it seems like this could end up in a game where one of the post players or, you know, more than one of the post players from each team could end up being the X factor. So that's certainly something to keep an eye on, which team can maybe lock it down more effectively down low. That will open up some opportunities from the outside. Excited to get this one started, partner.
Here we go. Asher versus Bianchi in the middle of the circle. Tip controlled by the Lady Dragons. Massengill will run the point for Harlan City. First time ever in this tournament, of course, just the second year we've had a full girls tournament. We had a couple of showcase invitationals. Leslie County played in the tournament last year. Harlan City very excited to get their chance in the second Girls Mountain Classic. Here's a quick 3 from Brock.
That's just the start that Coach Derek Acow wanted. Gets one of their best three-point shooters open in the quarter. You have to think that was in Leslie County's game plan, was not to leave her open, so a bit of a defensive lapse by the Lady Eagles there to start out.
And there's a quick turnover by Leslie, so not the best of starts for the Lady Eagles, but they will try to make some sort of on-the-fly adjustment this trip down for the Lady Dragons. Quick 3-0 lead.
Starting out in that 2-3 zone, Josh. Same corner, and it's Massengill that time. Missed it.
Open look. Thing about these two teams is they're not shy of shooting no matter what kind of look it is, but what a move by Katie Moore, and that's one of the many ways she can hurt you. Jump shot, driving. She's a very versatile player.
There aren't many girls in Eastern Kentucky that can make moves like that.
And then Brock showing at the other end, and that was just nice heads-up play by the sophomore. She caught the pass and in one motion dumped it down to Mackenzie King.
Boy, Harlan active defensively so far. They've forced 2 steals. Leslie County really having trouble penetrating that defense for Harlan, so you can tell that this Harlan City coaching staff has made some adjustments since the last time they faced the Lady Eagles and lost.
Derek Acow said they wanted to pressure the basketball and limit their shots at the free throw line. There's back-to-back buckets for Mackenzie King. And the Lady Dragons up 5 points here early, just more than 6 minutes to go in the first. And Tanner, they've really attacked the basket here so far.
And that last possession was exactly what Harlan wants to do, as 3 players touched it, starting at the perimeter, working it down low. You get 2 bigs that touch it. And speaking of Harlan, let's take a look at what they've done so far this season as Coach Acow goes over some instructions with his girl in the huddle, Mark Collett, across the way. They've had an up-and-down season. They've been in and out of the Mountain Top 10 all year long, Josh. Now find themselves at number 10. They're 7-5 on the year. Of course, 52nd district runners-up last year, averaging 56, nearly 57 points per game. Had that great run to the 13th Region Championship game last year before falling to Corbin. Actually knocked out Clay County, I think by 1 point in the semifinals. So they're really riding a bit of a hot streak and looking to find some consistency, and they're off to a good start here in the Mountain Classic.
You mentioned their hot streak. They've won 3 straight ball games. Bucket missed down low by Asher, and rebound is battled for, won by Leslie. They were 2-5 though in their previous 7 before that 3-game winning streak. Bucket no good by Combs, and Harlan, all 5 players crashing the boards for the Lady Dragons. Good sign if you're a Coach of Cal.
Right, takes away a little bit in transition, but it's almost worth the trade-off, especially when you can get good looks like that.
6-foot sophomore Emma Bianchi gives Harlan City a 7-point lead, and another 1 shot and out for Leslie. Ball goes out of bounds. We'll go stay with Harlan City, and the Lady Dragons now, Tanner. 3 players have already cracked the box score, 7-point lead. Leslie still trying to find something offensively. Just no answer right now at any end for the Lady Eagles.
Leslie hasn't been able to force much off of its press either, and that's what's really hurt them. They aren't getting transition buckets. Their only basket was on a fantastic move by Katie Moore, and she nearly got a steal there. It went out of bounds.
You can tell that Harlan wants to establish the post game with King and with Bianchi. If the outside shot is there, they're going to take it, but they're really getting the ball inside and hoping they can get something there, and that'll open things up a lot on the outside.
And turn it over for the first time. But the key, Josh, and I've already said it, I'll say it again, has just been ball movement. I mean, passes beat teams. Dribbling very rarely beats teams. I mean, every now and then you'll see a team with a player that's just so good off the dribble that they're able to just take a game over like that. Katie Moore probably is in that category, but if you can develop an offense around quick, precise passes, they can really break down a defense.
And that dead ball will take us to our first media timeout. Harlan City 9, Leslie County 2. First round action of the Girls Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com. Harlan City, Tanner, off to a 9-2 lead here at the first media timeout. There's Bianchi's 2 of her points in the paint, and Harlan City just denying a lot offensively for Leslie County, but Brooke Asher drawing the foul. That trip down for the Lady Eagles. She will go to the free throw line for 2. The foul on Jordan Brock. Asher, a 58% free throw shooter on the season.
And I really like how Leslie County came out of that timeout. You can tell that Mark Collett made it a point of emphasis in that huddle to be more aggressive attacking the basket. Leslie County was settling for too much dribbling, too much outside shooting, and talking about that too much dribbling, that's what led to the turnover problem they've experienced so far. But now you make the shot and you're able to set up in your press. Haven't had a whole lot of luck with it yet. We'll see if the Lady Eagles can force Harlan into a turnover.
Not made a lot of shots yet either. It helps when you have time to set it up. But Harlan breaks it with very little problem. 0-3 this season are the Lady Dragons versus teams in this Girls Classic. The district loss to Bell County, 8-point loss both to Clay and Leslie County.
Hard to defend that. Good look inside by King. 5'10", just a freshman. She may have some growing yet to do. And they force Katie Moore into a turnover, which is not an easy thing to do. She's one of the best ball handlers in the mountains. So Harlan, you look at all the success they've had at the offensive end and moving the ball in this game, but really, Josh, the reason they're up 7 points right now is because of what they've been able to do at the defensive end.
Well, Katie Moore has not been able to get a whole lot of good looks, and they're just breaking the press right now. Very little pressure being applied for Harlan City, and both of their turnovers, that being their second, have been of the unforced variety. But they've come out and they're not playing like a team that maybe is feeling some jitters or some pressure. Leslie County being the team that's a little timid, a little maybe over-aggressive at times in this one, and thus staring down a 7-point deficit just under the midway point of this first quarter. That's a nice take by Moore.
Yep, that's how she got her first bucket of the game, just pretty much carving right through the teeth of that Harlan defense.
And no problem at all for Harlan the other way. Shot no good by Massengill, but put back up and in. That's 8 points
Well, Massengill had King if she would have passed it for a layup, but I guess no harm, no foul as the missed shot goes right into the arms of King, who put it in. But Harlan just runs the floor so well. Got a 2-on-1 that time.
I think Massengill would rather King have the offensive rebound as opposed to her getting the assist. And they're just all over the place defensively as Harlan City. Leslie County, we're going to have a timeout taken by Harlan City. Head coach Derek Cacao, it's a full timeout. 13-6, your score, 3:15 to go in the first quarter. Lady Dragons on top of the Lady Eagles in tandem. We talked about both coaches briefly in between games. Both coaches in their 5th season with their respective programs. You see head coach Derek Cacao, 79-56 in those 4+ seasons. 3 All-A championships. A couple of YMT colleagues right there. Alex
there you go.
Peak and Morgan Lentis, the 6 o'clock co-anchor with Steve Hensley. But back to Harlan City, 3 All-A championships under Coach Cacao. They got a district championship in his first season in 2010-2011, trying to really get themselves in that upper echelon of the 13th region, along with the Clay counties, the Bell counties, and the Corbins.
And a lot of times when you're at a small school like Harlan, it's tough to do. And certainly when you think of schools that have rich athletic traditions in Eastern Kentucky, Harlan is in the upper echelon. But, you know, they're a Class A school. You don't have as much of a feeder system, as many of a pool of kids to pull from as you do at some other schools. So it's tough to build a program there, but Derek Cacao has been able to do it, and they have a great team this year, and that's why. Look at the defense, just great, forcing turnovers running the floor.
Bianchi could not finish, but a great effort by Brock, and they're going to force another turnover, does Harlan. That is the 5th turnover of the quarter for Leslie County. And you know what, Tanner, much like Bell County, Harlan City, only 1 senior. So a lot of these girls will be back next year, the year after that for Coach Cacao. And like small schools, this may be one of those stretches in a 4 or 5 year period where they're going to be strong athletically. A lot of small schools go through those kind of moments of being up and down, and another bucket by Mackenzie King.
She
10
has
points.
Absolutely been Harlan's MVP so far in this game, not only at the offensive end, but defensively. Leslie County has not been able to get much going in the paint at all.
Katie Moore again on the drive. She'll be fouled. This one is on Brooklyn Massengale. So Katie Moore at the line for 2, where she is shooting 79.5%, Tanner. A lot of good free throw shooters in this girls tournament. We saw Macy Morris, Jess Sanders in the first game, Katie Moore here in the second.
Well, they say statistically that girls tend to be better free throw shooters at this level than the boys teams, just more of a focus on fundamentals, and I don't know the exact reasons, but just to reinforce your point though, Josh, you're correct. And you know, it seems like a lot of times a lot of points get left at the free throw line. Those are the hidden points that come back to bite you at the end of games when you're down by 2 points, 3 points.
Well, Brock doing it all by herself on that possession. Mackenzie King got the offensive board. Had it blocked out of bounds by Leslie, but it stays with Harlan City. And, you know, Coach Collett said pregame he wanted to establish the post, but I think Cal may be taking a page out of his playbook and getting Mackenzie King established.
I'll tell you what, Mackenzie King,
she's calling for it.
Just physically doesn't look like a freshman, and basketball skill-wise doesn't look like a freshman. She looks like a junior or senior, and she's playing like it in this game.
Right now, Katie Moore's matched up on her, and that's a mismatch if you're Leslie County.
Good defense, though, by Katie down low.
Good defense.
Kept her arms straight up in the air, blocked it out of bounds. Boy, she's fundamentally sound. Just all around good player, Katie Moore.
Comes from good basketball genes, as we have mentioned throughout the course of the evening. Strong move by Bianchi. Tough defense by Asher. Moore's going to attempt to take it coast to coast, but will be fouled on the floor before the shot, says the official.
Yeah, by King. Reached in and got her. Probably a good decision by King, though, to bump Moore. Otherwise, she would have had a layup. Leslie County trying to cut into this 7-point deficit.
Been a quiet first quarter for Leslie County. It seems like it's been all Harlan City, but just a 7-point game. Just less than 2 to go here in the opening quarter. The second Girls Mountain Classic. First appearance for Harlan Independent. Leslie making their second straight appearance, went 0-2 in last year's tournament.
You have to wonder how much that's weighing on their minds right now as they've gotten off to another slow start here.
Lost both games last year by double digits. And another foul by Harlan City on the floor.
This could be against King. It might be her second. Yeah, that's number 2 on King. That's a big call early in this game. And she'll have to go to the bench. Wow.
5'8" junior Katie King checking in for Harlan City. Also coming into the game for Leslie County is number 21 Emily Griffith veering one of the dead balls, and Shelby Sparks. Strong take to the bucket for her first 2 of the night. Leslie County hanging around, not letting this thing get out of hand too early. Brock's just going to pull from 3 off the mark. Put back up and in though. Macy Charles flying in there for the offensive board. And Leslie County just has no answer defensively for Harlan City's rebounding. All 5 players crashing the board.
A lot of times it's tough too on a 3-pointer. That's statistically the best time to get an offensive rebound, because pass, if she would have tried to gone over the top without the bounce, that would have been picked off, and that's an adjustment they've made. Leslie County was turning it over at a high rate early in this game, but I don't think that pass skipped more than 6 inches off the ground, and she got it to the post, and even though Farler didn't get it on her first attempt, she got it back. So, yes, a great individual effort, but credit Katie Moore with the tremendous entry pass.
Moore and Asher on the bench in favor of Kelsey Gay, as well as Kaylee Collett for Leslie for the final 15 seconds of this first quarter. Harlan City a 4-point lead. Massengill's going to fire an open 3. No good, too strong. Rebound pulled down by Gay. Leslie trying for the last shot at the buzzer. Got to get it to go. That's Kelsey Gay. And Leslie County finds itself down just 2, 17-15 after 1. The Girls Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com. A big thank you to all of our sponsors for this week's tournament, including Kentucky Farm Bureau, your local agents, one of many proud sponsors for this tournament all week long. And we now turn it over to the 3rd member of our broadcasting crew, Lauren Cash. Lauren?
Hey Josh, yeah, listening into the huddle at Leslie County earlier, Coach Collett said, you got off to a slow start with 7-2, but it's a 2-point game in that last 30 seconds. He said, I'm happy that you guys got something positive out of it. And he said, now it's for the next half, they want to see defense. He wants active hands to try to stay collected in the post. Guys.
Thank you, Lauren. Off the missed 3 from Harlan City. Leslie can't convert on the break, and Emma Bianchi comes down with the hard rebound. And they're going to get a foul on Leslie County. Number 12, Kelsey Gay. First team foul for Leslie County. And Tanner, Lauren touched on it. A big run to close out that first quarter from the Lady Eagles. They really picked it up defensively, made some shots, and that 9-2 deficit, now a 2-point deficit here to start the second.
Right, and what was most impressive is that they did it in the post behind Mackenzie King. Now, the big question is, now that she's saddled with foul trouble and on the bench, can Harlan continue to go inside? Bianchi's going to have to be big.
That's what they're trying to do, and Bianchi shot too strong. Altered, though, by Asher. Nice putback attempt, though, by Katie King, and she's going to draw the foul.
Kings everywhere on this Harlan roster. They have 3 Kings. Katie, Mackenzie, and Amber King also. She's a sophomore on the roster.
I've yet to see Amber in the game, but at the line for 2 is Katie King, the 5'8" junior.
Remember, we talked in the pregame about how this would be a game of runs. Harlan getting up by 7, Leslie County closing the gap.
Made you look like a smart man.
And that's not easy to do.
You know you got good teams on the court when you make Tanner look like he knows what he's
right.
talking about.
Thank you, Harlan and Leslie County.
Both teams stressing defense, talking to both coaches before the game, and so far it's been a lot of defensive pressure, active hands, active feet, quick side-to-side movement. Leslie seems, if they don't get a shot off quick, it seems like they're kind of taken out of their rhythm, and we're going to get an offensive foul on Leslie?
No, I think it's against Harlan.
Okay, Harlan. It was on Emma Bianchi. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Emma Bianchi. It's her first trying to defend the screen. 19-15. Leslie County has not led in this ball game. Down by as many as 7. Trimmed it to 2. Now staring at a 4-point deficit. Still really early in the second quarter. All around the perimeter are the Lady Eagles. Moore's going to drive it. Can't get the floater to go. Rebound again controlled by Harlan. And it's all 5 players, Tanner. It's not just King or Bianchi. It's all 5 Lady Dragons going after the rebound.
Full court man-to-man, well, half court man-to-man defense for Harlan. And they've just really locked it down.
Bianchi, long jumper, rattles out, and they're going to get Katie King on an over the back call. There's Caitlin Farler getting excellent position. She's not very tall, 5'7". But when it comes to rebounding, all you need is good position. And that's going to send Leslie to the line for one of the bonus.
I like the decision going back to Harlan being in that man-to-man defense. I like the decision by Coach Derek Cow to do that because essentially it takes away the perimeter advantage that Leslie County may have. I mean, you force the guards to try to drive it in. You force them to work it to some of the bigs. You know, when you're in a 2-3 zone, usually outside shooting can kind of be the bugaboo against a 2-3. But, you know, you stick in that man-to-man and you force them to have to beat you one-on-one.
And what makes Harlan's man-to-man so effective is their ability to switch so quickly. They fight through screens. They're not really affected too much by screens and pick and rolls and things like that. They switch so quickly. Brock, a 3 from the corner, nearly banked it in from the corner.
Hardest spot of the court to bank in a shot. It's almost harder to bank one in there than it is to make one from half court.
Moore the other way, can't get it to fall. Rebound tied up for 2 players, and it will stay with the Lady Eagles. Shanae Thomas back into the game during the last dead ball for Harlan City. Saw some brief action in the first quarter.
You know, it was a high-scoring first quarter, Josh, 17-15, and now the defense is really starting to settle in for each squad. And Leslie County forced to take a timeout. Man, we've seen that. We saw that in our first game as well. Teams struggling to get the ball inbounds. Just credit to the defense in this instance, the Lady Dragons.
What is it that's been the biggest change here in the second quarter, Tanner, as far as both teams' defensive philosophies and the way they've kind of executed their adjustments?
Well, I think that's a very nuanced answer because I think it starts down low. I think that losing King to foul trouble for Harlan, I mean, she's been on the bench since picking up her second foul late in that first quarter. I think that has allowed Leslie County to maybe get down low a little easier, but at the same time, they haven't converted some good chances. And then at the other end, Harlan has just stuck to the game plan of trying to get everyone involved. But, you know, the more you run an offense, the more you run your plays, the more the other team really starts to catch on to it. I mean, and these are 2 teams that are really familiar with each other. I mean, these girls have probably grown up playing against each other. These 2 coaches have scouted the opposing team numerous times. I mean, they're no strangers to each other. They're not really going to fool the other team. So that, you know, that comes into play too. And there's another girl who's come to play, Katie Moore, the and 1.
Her 8th point, and that was off a left-handed shot right under the bucket. Got it to fall and drew the foul on Harlan City. Emma Bianchi, that's her second, and back into the game will come Mackenzie King replacing Bianchi. So that's the 2 bigger players on Harlan City, Tanner. Bianchi and King each with 2 fouls, 1 on the bench, 1 back into the game, and Katie Moore looking for her 9th point of the ball game.
I like the decision to put King back into the game here, even though she has 2 fouls. I mean, it's worth the risk of her picking up number 3 to have her presence in the game as well as she has played.
Massengill and Bianchi both on the bench for Harlan City. Let's see who, if anybody, can pick up the slack. Jordan Brock, her nice little ball skills. Shot no good by Charles, but Harlan City again got the long rebound and they'll reset things.
When you shoot as many threes as they do, you get a lot of offensive rebounds.
And
nice steal.
Picked her pocket by Shelby Sparks, and Sparks nearly lost it. Katie Moore comes away with it for Leslie, takes it in. Blocked, no call down low, and Harlan City again with the rebound. You know, it's been a physical game, Tanner, but it's not really been a sloppy game. I mean, both teams really going at it, and the officials letting them play, not really letting too much go, but it's just been tough, hard-nosed defense for both teams, especially in the post.
Neither team shot a lot of free throws. I mean, this is what you want to see. This is a terrific high school girls basketball game. Like you said, Josh, not an ugly game, just a physical game.
1-point lead for Harlan City. 7-point lead's been the biggest. Nice pass down low to Mackenzie King.
Oh.
Kind of a rushed turnaround shot for King. Won't fall. Rebound pulled down by Leslie, and a foul will be called on, I think that may have got Shanae Thomas.
I think King
should it's on Mackenzie King, her third foul.
Yep. I think King should have spun the other way when she caught it in the post. She spun away from the basket and didn't leave herself any backboard to work with. If she would have spun into the basket, she would have been perfectly aligned in the middle, and the odds go up tremendously of you making the shot. Can't knock her play too much tonight, though. She's been really good for the Lady Dragons, but she may have to leave the game here soon if this foul trouble persists. Remember, she spent a good chunk of that second quarter, this second quarter, on the bench, now with 3 fouls.
And Asher makes both free throws, and that will bring us to immediate timeout. Leslie County has taken the lead 20-19 over Harlan City, the Girls Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com. Tanner looking at the team profile for the Leslie County Lady Eagles. A solid basketball team for head coach Mark Collett.
Yeah, and one of the big things that sticks out there, no losses to mountain teams. That's what you can say about Bell County, too. And if Leslie County wins this game, they'll face Bell County Saturday in the championship of the Girls Mountain Classic. Remember, they made it to the 14th Region semifinals last year. Certainly, they'd like to try to get to Bowling Green this year. Both these teams, of course, Harlan from the 13th Region, Leslie from the 14th.
A 1-point lead for the Lady Eagles. Lauren Cash listening into both teams during that last time out. Lauren, what do you got?
Listening to Derek Acau, he said, you guys, look at the scoreboard. You're down 1 point, but keep your composure. You know how to run plays. Stay strong, stay focused, and you can handle this. He said, rebound the ball, go slow, take your time, run your plays. Guys.
Thank you very much, Lauren. And Tanner, by no means is this game out of reach. It's a 1-point game, but Harlan City, like Lauren mentioned, the message from Coach Acau, just, you've kind of lost your lead, but you're not out of it. It's still a 1-point game. Just kind of stay under control, stay composed, and get yourself back into this. Play intelligent, play smart with the basketball.
What did we say? It'd be a game of runs. Harlan goes up by 7. Now all of a sudden Leslie comes back up by 1, trying to add to it with the press, and they'll end up getting an extra possession out of it. Harlan, the big thing right now is they're just struggling to get it up the floor against this Leslie County press, which was not effective early in this game. Harlan beat it and got some easy looks, but been tough going so far.
Leslie County, they've been able to, as we have another jump ball, they've been able to really establish that full court pressure, get themselves set, know their assignments, and when you have time to get it set up, it's going to be more effective. And Harlan City they've had a real problem defending or getting past the half-court strike. Shot well off the mark from Sparks off the inbounds play from the corner, and Macy Charles will bring it up court for the Lady Dragons, trying to regain their lead, down just a single point here midway through this second quarter. Their first time they've trailed in this game. Led by as many as 7 in the first quarter, got out to a 9-2 lead. Leslie County stormed back.
It's easy to keep your composure and play well when you're winning. Massengill, a 3 to put them back on top. But where I was going with that point, though, Josh, is now that you've let the other team come back, you've had some mental lapses, can you weather the storm? And that 3 by Massengill, she was left open, stepped up, and knocked it down. So I think that was an emphatic yes to my question.
5'6" junior transferred from Harlan County during the offseason, and as a freshman and sophomore, was really one of the better scorers on that Lady Black Bear team the last couple of years. And Madison Combs answers. 3 of her own, her first points of the game. Anything you can do, I can do better.
It's going to be one of those games. Looking forward to the rest of this one.
Pace picking up. Shot off the mark for Shanae Thomas, and Leslie's wanting to run with it. Sparks, coast to coast, tip back up, no good by Asher. It's a track meet now. Massengill going to take it herself against Combs, and she's fouled.
I'm getting winded just watching that last few series. That's the reason you do all those wind sprints in practice, for sequences like that. Man, just back and forth like watching a ping pong ball.
There's no drills for us, though, to call that kind of tempo.
We do talk a lot and have to catch our breath a lot.
Free throw no good by Massengill. Big first quarter by Mackenzie King, Tanner, 10 points, and since she was saddled with that foul trouble, now has 3 on the game, and they've really kind of gotten out of their game plan. They wanted to go to her down low. Massengill makes the second. It's kind of thrown them off a little bit, not having her on the post to give the ball to kind of move the offense around.
Back and forth. What a great game so far there. Tied at 23 here in the late stage of the first half. Hope it's this way the whole way through.
Nice back tap by Harlan City. Brock running it. She's going to kick it back out. Set the offense up for the Lady Dragons. Massengill, another one from the wing. Off the mark. And another jump ball as Katie Moore and Shanae Thomas were going after at that time. It'll stay with Harlan Independent.
4 jump balls already in this game. Both defenses being very aggressive. And Harlan, like Leslie County, is better when they can run the floor. I think it's going to come down to which team can execute better in the half court here in this one.
Thomas, she'll fire a 3 from the left wing, too strong. Rebound out of bounds to Leslie County.
And Harlan has been great so far at offensive rebounds on missed 3-pointers, but they don't get the good bounce that time. This is obviously a smaller Harlan lineup with King on the bench at 5'10". And we've seen Leslie County try to pound it down in the paint more.
You know, I think if Harlan can withstand a Leslie County run with Bianchi and King on the bench, forcing another turnover by the Lady Eagles, that would be huge for them in the second half, because those are 2 players they've really looked to go to intentionally here in this game in the early going, and they're both on the bench. 2 fouls for Bianchi, 3 for King. And it's really been those 2 and pretty much everybody else.
But again, I think it starts on the defensive end, and if Harlan can keep forcing turnovers like they did just a moment ago, I have that as Leslie County's 9th turnover, then they're going to be okay, because I'm a believer that defense oftentimes leads to offense, and if they can continue locking it down, forcing turnovers, get into the open floor and run the break, then I think they'll be okay.
Not much from the outside for Harlan in the first half of this one. Leslie County really extending their half-court defense. Brock in the paint gets one to rattle home. Nice bounce for the sophomore.
Perfect example of creating your own shot there. Good shot fake.
Griffith steps up, can't get the jumper to fall. Rebound again to Harlan. You know, Brock to only be 5'7", and she looks like a small 5'7". She really battles for the boards, and we're going to get a foul. Looks like it may be on Brock. Offensive foul. No.
They call the block. I'll see if our guys can cue that replay up in the truck. The official under the basket asked for some help from the official out beyond the 3-point line, and he came in and said block. Honestly, I think that was a 50-50 call.
Could have gone either way. It's going to go against Kaylee Collett, her first. Leslie County not yet at the bonus.
Get a look at the replay.
And
she was set, but she was also leaning a little bit. So like we said, 50-50.
Good job by Brock to kind of veer to the left a little bit and get her off balance. 3-pointer by Charles. Noel off the mark, too strong. And Leslie County looking to run it with Sparks as we approach the 1-minute mark of this first half. Sparks all the way, and a blocking foul on Harlan's Katie King. That's her second.
Well, Sparks did something that's really tough to do. She dribbled right by Massengill. Massengill, one of the best defenders you'll see, and she let Sparks get by her, and then the help defense came over and committed the foul. But Sparks a very good penetrator, and she's rewarded with a couple of free throws here.
You know, Tanner, basketball, scholarships, it's all part of the Mountain Classic. We also got some cheerleading competition. What's high school basketball without cheerleading?
That's right.
WYMT Mountain Classic cheer coordinator Betty Novak of Wolfe County has organized the cheerleading competition component of the Classic for more than 25 years. So a big thank you to Miss Novak and her dedication to the Mountain Classic and the cheerleading competition.
You know, you love high school basketball no matter what, but really there are 2 keys to making the atmosphere at a game great: cheerleaders and a good band. And certainly we're talking about the cheerleaders and the role that they play, and you know, we've got the cheerleading competition here as part of the Mountain Classic, so we're glad to give the schools a chance to showcase their cheerleading squads as well as their basketball teams. And there's a pretty good basketball player herself in Brooklyn Massengill, her second 3, I believe, Josh.
All 7 points in the second quarter for Massengill, and just like that, Tanner, another run. 4-point lead now for the Lady Dragons. 30 seconds to play here in the first half. Sparks, another drive, splits 2 defenders, gets the shot to bounce in.
That's what you call the old dipsy-do move, to split a couple of defenders and got a good roll. But hey, they say the ball never lies. When you make a good move like that, you get a good break and a good bounce.
She's a tough player to be 5'5". A long three for Thomas, got it.
Man, if those start falling for Harlan, it could be good night, Irene.
Moore at the buzzer, no good, and Harlan independent. A 5-point lead at the half over Leslie County, 31-26. A big run to close out the second quarter by the Lady Dragons, a 5-point lead. Led in that second quarter by Brooklyn Massengale, 7 points for Harlan City. Here's a replay of Shelby Sparks, splits the two defenders and gets the nice bounce for the bucket for the Lady Eagles, who are trailing by 5. And Lauren Cash is standing by with Leslie County head coach Mark Collett.
Guys, Coach, you got off to a slow start, 7-2. You called a quick timeout. What did you tell your girls in that timeout to just settle down?
They've established a post game here today, something that they didn't have. A couple of games I've seen them play at the start of the season and even against us. And, they're starting to warm up from the perimeter, too. I told my kids during that timeout, I said, let's settle down, let's play our game. We've given them a 7-0 or maybe 5-0 cushion there. It was 9-2 maybe at one point. And I thought we played better. We're not in any kind of flow offensively right now. I think we're forcing some things. I think second half, we just got to stay the course. I knew it would be a battle. And the thing we've got to worry about now is not only the three-point shot, but 31, 33, and 20 have established the post game for them, too.
What do you tell your girls going into the halftime here to not get discouraged, to stay focused?
It's going to start on the defensive end. So much of our offense comes from defensive rebounds, maybe getting deflections and turnovers and going the other direction. So we've got to focus down here on the defensive end. That way, to mask some of our lack of flow offensively, we can get some easy buckets in transition.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Mark Collett, head coach of the Leslie County Lady Eagles. 5-point deficit at halftime to Harlan City, 31-26. Halftime of the Girls Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com. More than 1,000 East Kentucky high school seniors have received scholarships through the WYMT Mountain Classic Scholarship Program since 1988. 3 of this year's scholarship winners were awarded in memory of Ralph Gabbard, YMT's founder. Ralph created the Classic, and he saw 11 tournaments produced before his untimely death in 1996. And Tanner, Ralph Gabbard, a name that is synonymous with the Mountain Classic and WYMT and just everything that goes on this week around high school basketball in Eastern Kentucky.
Well, he's in the WYMT Hall of Fame, if in terms of just how well he's remembered. I mean, his name is up there with the likes of Wayne Martin and Bill Gorman and all the others who were around in the early days of the television station before it was even WYMT. And Leslie County commits its 10th turnover of the game here to start this second half. And, that's the thing. We love our basketball. We love this tournament. We love watching the athletes compete out here on the court. But, in the long run, basketball isn't as important as what we're able to do, WYMT is able to do. I don't mean you and me, I mean the station in general, giving out this scholarship money and helping a lot of kids that otherwise may not get that money to go to college and get a good education and launch a good career.
We just simply show up and call the games. A lot of people put in a lot of hours and hard work to make this week a success, and a bucket down low for Jordan Brock. Her 7th point of the game. And let's send it over to Lauren Cash, who was listening into both head coaches coming out of the locker room. Lauren?
Yeah, guys, Josh and Tanner, listening to Derek Acal and coming out of the locker room, he said they started a lot better than they did in the previous game when they played against Leslie at Leslie and lost. And he said they kept up that intensity and kept up that momentum really throughout the first half, even when he was a little frustrated once Leslie took that 1-point lead because Harlan was giving up wide open three-pointers. He said stay smart defensively, and they have. Guys, we'll see what else comes up next.
Thank you very much, Lauren. 33-28. Harlan a 5-point lead. They've led by as many as 7. And that was very early in the first quarter. Leslie County took a lead for a brief moment in the second quarter. And that's a big reason why right there, the play of Brooke Asher, her 11th point.
And again, set up by a fantastic pass from Katie Moore that split 2 defenders.
What a move by Brock.
And she's getting to the basket at will here in the second half. Turn it into a track meet again, Josh.
Here we go.
Oh, nice block.
Nice block by Bianchi. Her 2 fouls. Smart play by Bianchi. Brock, stop and pop from 10. She's got 6 points just like that in the third quarter, 11 points on the game.
Couple of layups and a jumper, and then Katie Moore nearly turning it over. Leslie County's going to keep it, but you think that Derek Acau made it a point at halftime to tell his girls to attack the basket more?
I think so.
I think so,
and
too.
That's a dangerous message with Bianchi and King in the game, with 2 fouls on Bianchi, 3 on King. But you know what? If they play smart, that won't be a factor. And so far in this third quarter, they've done a nice job.
Where do you get all these good young players? Man, they're going to be set for a few years. Harlan will be.
This Classic is full. Boys and girls have a lot of young talent that'll be back in the next 2 or 3 years for their respective teams. Of course, the boys tournament gets underway tomorrow. A couple of games in the first round. Madison Combs turnaround, can't get it to fall, but there's Asher with their offensive board. Tapped away from the backside, controlled by Harlan. Another Lady Eagle turnover. Charles, she's going to fire from deep, no good, short. Moore chases down the rebound in the corner for Leslie, and they're going to run with it. Well, this is when the game gets fun. Moore, nice shot fake to get Bianchi in the air, and that's going to be the 3rd foul on Emma Bianchi.
Well, Katie Moore really stopped on a dime. A lot of players wouldn't be able to just halt their forward momentum like that without traveling, but Katie Moore, a nice job, and then gives the shot fake, draws the foul. And I mean, she went coast to coast. She grabbed that rebound, was in a tough corner, dribbled out of trouble, and took it all the way in, really putting the team on her shoulders, and that gets us to a media timeout. It should anyway. Well,
we'll get one next time around. Katie Moore, the 3rd player in the ballgame to reach double figures. She now has 11, joining Brooke Asher and Jordan Brock. 5-point game, Lady Dragons with the lead. Brock from the free throw line, bounces off, no good. And there's Leslie County again, grabbing the rebound and wanting to run with it. Moore, nice effort though. Nice attempt anyway to get the ball down low to Asher, but Bianchi there for the steal. Even better defensive effort for number 20, and Brock, the spin move, can't get it to go. And she'll be fouled on the way up by Brooke Asher. That's just her 1st personal foul. And that will send Jordan Brock to the line for 2.
Chance to equal Harlan's largest lead of the game at 7 if she can knock them both down.
First one's good. Now the game's leading scorer with 12 points.
Very balanced attack for Harlan.
Massingill's got 7. Mackenzie King has 10. She's in the game with those 3 fouls. Brock's 2nd one, also good. And we have reached our media timeout. 4:24 to play in the 3rd, 38-32. Harlan Independent, 39-32, excuse me. This on This TV, WYMT.com. Let's send it over to the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Lauren Cash. Lauren?
Having some technical difficulties with her microphone. We'll try to check back in with Lauren here in just a minute.
Harlan Independent 39-32 over Leslie County. 7-point lead for the Lady Dragons out of the media timeout. Leslie, nice ball movement inside to Asher. Can't connect though. And another one-and-done trip for the Lady Eagles, trying to get back into this ball game. This matches their largest deficit so far, 7 points. Big game so far from Jordan Brock, Mackenzie King for the Lady Dragons, Asher and Moore, the 2 players leading the way for Leslie County. Brock, a long 3, just short. Rebound though by Bianchi. Keeps the possession alive for Harlan Independent, and a foul in the back as they're going to say Asher pushed off on Bianchi down low. And now we can send it over to the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Lauren Cash. Lauren.
Second time's a charm here. Head coach Mark Collett out of the timeout. Looked up at the scoreboard and said, it's like it's 7-0 here. And our defense and getting out in transition is what's going to make the difference in the game. He said, starting off the second half, it was like he was speaking Spanish because they weren't even listening and running the plays that he was calling out. So hopefully out of this timeout, they'll see a change and he'll start speaking English for them.
Thanks a lot, Lord. You can always count on Collett giving you a nice, solid sound bite.
He's a good showman, isn't he?
Or more. Tough drive on the baseline. Gets 2 points to go. And now Leslie picking up their defensive pressure in the full court. Broken rather easily by Harlan. Bianchi in the post, blocked from behind. Here come the Lady Eagles. Moore again by herself, and she's going to be fouled. And Tanner, it's going to be Bianchi or King, one of the two. And it's going to be on Mackenzie King.
How about Bobby Keith?
There is Mr. Mountain Classic, if there ever was one. Bobby Keith. He and his Clay County Tigers captured the first 8 Mountain Classic championships.
Of course, we televised the Bobby Keith Classic a couple of weekends ago in Manchester. Had the great privilege of interviewing him. I'll tell you what, he still has an incredibly sharp basketball mind. Was able to ask him his opinion on a couple things and some strategies, and he's really up on a lot of things. Has it broken down on as far as which officials are more likely to give you a charge call compared to a block. I mean, he's all up on it, man.
You know, a coach like Bobby Keith and a lot of coaches who are around the game for a long time, they never can just sit and watch a basketball game. They're always analyzing things and trying to game plan, even when they don't really have a say in what's going on. Foul called on Emily Griffith, and Jordan Brock will go to the line for 2, where she is 2 of 2 on the evening. But boy, oh boy, are the Mountains lucky to have a guy like Bobby Keith, who has spent so much time on the basketball court, really building that Clay County legacy.
And you know, he's at almost every Clay County sporting event that he's able to be at. I mean, he even follows the cheerleaders. He just a great supporter of Clay County athletics. And yeah, you're right. Great to have had him in Eastern Kentucky for all these years.
Not many around like Mr. Bobby Keith. Fantastic character, fantastic person to talk to. Jordan Brock makes both free throws, extends the Harlan Independent lead, 41-35. Just less than 3 to play here in the third quarter.
And Harlan County tomorrow in the boys bracket, taking on Knott Central.
Getting ahead of myself. And there's a steal by Bianchi. Katie Moore wanted to shoot, maybe didn't know whether she wanted to drive, pass, or shoot, and kind of got in the middle, and thus another turnover for Leslie County. And this so far, it's been a struggle this third quarter offensively for the Lady Eagles.
Well, 12 turnovers in the game, and you're right, this third quarter has belonged to the Lady Dragons.
Charles in the corner. Leslie still extending their half-court defense. Nice screen set by Bianchi for Massingale. She knocks down another 3.
Well, a great play design and a great diagonal pass to set up the 3.
The other way, it's Griffith. And she's going to be fouled by Emma Bianchi, and that's her 4th personal foul.
Josh, this is the largest lead of the game for either team. Harlan up by 9 points. But you see, after the Lady Dragons, Massingale hit the 3, Leslie County, you saw how quick they got up the floor. That's one thing they excel at. They really want to, if they give up points, they want to try to get them back in a hurry.
Shanae Thomas into the game for Bianchi, who joins Mackenzie King on the bench with 4 fouls. And it may be a while, Tanner, before we see either one of those two back in the game. Emily Griffith makes them both. Her first 2 points of the night. She's in the box score. 7-point Lady Dragon lead. Brock, nice stutter step, puts it up off the glass.
That may be the move of the Mountain Classic so far. Blew by 3 defenders.
Well, she's got 12 points in this third quarter. Katie Moore the other way.
Well, that may be number 2. Or 1A, 1B. Wow.
Moore's like, you know what? Your move was nice. Mine's going to be nicer. Katie King picks up her 3rd personal foul and a timeout on the floor, a 30-second timeout. So Tanner, 46-39. Katie Moore at the line to trim the deficit back to 6. And Right now in this third quarter, it's been all Jordan Brogg versus Katie Moore, and it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it being that from a broadcaster's perspective, and even more from a fan's perspective. And, you know, fans from both schools, both of these teams well represented. Leslie County bringing a good crowd. Harlan City bringing a good crowd from across the mountain. Look at Brock. And then she hung in the air and then able to kiss it off the glass.
Nice body control from Brock to get the layup, and at the other end, Katie Moore just as acrobatic, and she drew the foul on top of that. So at the line for a three-point play, and so far on the night, she is 7 of 7. Leslie County has only missed 2 free throws the entire ball game. Let's hope I didn't give her the old broadcaster's jinx. Well, of course not.
Well, speaking of broadcasters, we actually have several employees at WYMT that are graduates of both Harlan and Leslie County. Our general manager, Neil Middleton, he's a Harlan Green Dragon. Tracy Hensley, one of our camera operators, who's actually not working tonight, but he'll be along later in the week for the Mountain Classic. And then Dennis Hudson, our satellite truck operator, a graduate of Harlan Independent. And Greg Walker, one of our directors, graduate of Leslie County.
Lady Eagles down 6, approaching the 1-minute mark in the third quarter. Farler, nice give and go to Asher, and Asher lost control, but a jump ball will give it to Harlan Independent with 69 seconds left in this third quarter, up by 6.
Turnover 13 for Leslie County, but since it's a dead ball, it lets them set up in the press. They got 4 defenders on this side of half court with the safety valve back deep.
Shanae Thomas brings it into front court. She'll get it off to Brock. What a third quarter Brock has had for the Lady Dragons.
Yeah, they're trying to set up the trap, but she just dribbles out of it.
Massengill in the corner, can't get it to go, bounces off, and another loose ball. And this one will be controlled by Leslie. Moore.
Nice pass.
To Griffith. Griffith puts it up and in. And gets the foul on Jordan Brock. Emily Griffith. A quiet night offensively, but that's her third and fourth point. She'll have a chance to make it a one-possession game.
And there is not a statistic that will show up in the box score to reflect how proficient Katie Moore has been at passing the ball in this game. I'd be interested to see how many points of Leslie County's have come as a direct result of pinpoint passes from Katie Moore.
Lady Eagles now down 1 possession. Nearing the end of this third quarter, and that's one thing about her, Tanner, that gets overlooked. Everybody sees the three-point shooting, the points, the rebounds. She is a very good distributor. And Brock, another strong take, but can't get it to go. And Leslie had the defensive rebound, and they're going to get a timeout.
Yeah, good heads-up play by Mark Collett. Saw that his girl had the ball, was in trouble, and called the timeout. They definitely have the timeouts to spare. And now with, 27 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Mark Collett calls a full timeout. He's going to maybe draw something up here, maybe draw up a play, something you don't have in the playbook that Harlan hasn't seen on tape, hasn't scouted. I mean, you can either get something inside, make it a one-point game if you can score going into the fourth quarter, or perhaps nail one from outside and tie this thing up after being down 9 points just a couple of minutes ago.
1 3-pointer. Here's a look at the girls' bracket. Bell County defeated Clay County earlier this evening, 70-38, in what was a just dominant performance in the second half from the Lady Cats. They await the winner of this game Saturday night for the girls' championship. Clay County will play on Thursday in the girls' third-place game against the loser of this game. So Clay County on the boys' side won the first 7 Mountain Classics. Bell County trying to win the first 2 girls classics, and regardless of who wins this game, will have their hands full on Saturday against the Lady Cats. They looked awfully impressive against Clay County.
Especially in the second half. Bell was only up 7 at halftime, but man, they just turned on the afterburners there in that third quarter and pulled away from a good Lady Tiger team that one of the favorites in the 13th region, along with Harlan, Bell. Corbin, of course, has had some success lately.
Just
Harlan County, always a good program.
An off-shooting night, to say the least, for Clay County. Just could not find the basket, as we are now under 10 seconds to play. Katie Moore dribbling the basketball in the midcourt circle.
She's pulling.
Gets a pick, going to drive, and we're going to count the bucket and a foul.
Wow.
This one's going to be on Katie King, her fourth. Yeah, you could tell early on that was going to be all Katie Moore or nothing.
Well, she went with 5, started her drive at 5, and then fouled with 2.4 left.
Tied up, tied up. Harlan City going to try to get a shot off. 2.5 seconds to play before the fourth. Jordan Brock heaves it from three-quarters court, well short. And we are going to the fourth, tied up at 46. Harlan Independent and Leslie County, the Girls Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com. Tie ball game to start the fourth quarter. Lauren Cash, you were in both huddles. What do you have?
Well, I'm sure you saw Coach Collett high-fiving his girls and cheering out of that quarter, and he complimented himself on that timeout that he took. They went in there down 3 now, starting the fourth quarter, tied up at 46. But if you listen to Coach Akal in his huddle, he said they still got to move the ball. As they saw Leslie County started trying to trap them up top, and he said, remember, guys, we have 4 guards up there. Just come up to the ball. We got this. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Lauren. A big run toward the end of the third quarter for Leslie County to tie the ball game, down by as many again as 7 points. Excuse me, 9 points. Yep. That was the largest deficit. Brock, boy, she has just taken over for the Lady Dragons in the second half.
Well, remember, she got 6 straight points to start the third quarter, and Derek Akal telling her, look, you need to start the fourth quarter the same way you started the third quarter. Be aggressive, get to the basket. When you can penetrate and force help defense, that's when you can start seeing some open shots on the perimeter. Girls like Massengill, open, been very good from beyond the arc this game.
And Katie Moore can't answer, and a foul on the rebound will go against Leslie County.
Lauren's right, though. That was a good timeout by Mark Collett, because that's the difference in going down to the fourth quarter, down 3 and going tied. You see the replay, Brock, just great vision in the half court, understanding angles, knowing where she needs to be to give herself the best possible chance.
Very similar to J.C. Cotton in the way she handles the basketball. Very quick, very decisive in what she wants to do. Massengill thought about the 3 in the corner. Steps up, nails the long 2, her first bucket since early in that third.
And there are a lot of coaches who will tell you they'd rather see you take a 3 than a long 2-pointer, just because of statistically the odds greater are about the same of you making the shot, as you see the good inside game that time and conversion by Brooke Asher. But Massengill really saying, no, I'm going to work for a better shot, and I'm going to knock it down. And she did, and Harlan up by 2.
She's got 12 points. Asher at the other end got her 13th point for Leslie County. Back to a 2-point game in favor of the Lady Dragons. Their first ever appearance in the Girls Mountain Classic. Leslie McCounty making their second straight. 0-2 last year in this tournament were the Lady Eagles. Shanae Thomas, a 3, can't get the bounce. Rebound pulled down by Asher. And Asher's going to lead the break for Leslie County. Gets bumped. Shot no good, and they're going to say it was on the floor.
Good call. Asher hadn't started her.
Foul is on Shanae Thomas, her first.
Hadn't started her move to the basket yet. Our officials. Good officiating crew tonight on top of that one.
Both games have been very well official. She will get free throws, though, nonetheless, because it was the 17th foul on Harlan Independent. First one is good. And Tanner, some news to pass along at the college level. A guy that you and I know pretty well, head coach Kelly Wells of the U-Pike Bears men's basketball team, ranked number 4 in the country. He registered his 200th collegiate win as a head coach tonight, 108-71 on the road at Florida College. So congratulations to Kelly Wells, been at U-Pike since 2006, of course, spent a year at Hawaii Pacific. A great accomplishment for the U-Pike Bears and their head coach. Brock, boy, what a second half she's had.
Great job using her body to shield the defender, rip the ball away from the other defender, and then get an open shot and a travel call here. This will be turnover number 14 for Leslie County. But going back to the point on Kelly Wells, he's a guy that I've always felt a special connection to. He and I are both from Moorhead. Of course, he played at Rowan County, ended up playing at Moorhead State as well for Coach Dick Fick. Played on the same team as Donnie Tyndall, who of course now is the head coach at Tennessee. Troy Lee Thomas on that team as well, now the head coach, girls coach at Bath County High School. And congratulations to Kelly.
Katie Moore can't connect, got her own rebound, put it up. Can't get this one, but she does draw the foul.
I don't know how she got her own rebound, man. I mean, she was right in the trees. King and Brock were right around her, and she just went up and grabbed that thing. And Katie Moore, you know, at 5'10" herself, but still, that's hard to do.
This is her first free throw of the night.
Watch, we'll get another look at it here.
Drives in.
She's gonna miss, but well, nobody boxed her out. So then she just went up and got it. Had 3 Lady Dragons there, none of them boxed out more.
She missed both free throws. Had made 9 straight before that trip. Deficit still at 2 for Leslie County. We are now less than 5 minutes to play in this one. Lady Dragons by 2. Massengill in the corner, she likes the spot.
And that's big. That is big. All of her three-pointers have come in crucial moments where Leslie County has been about to get over the hump.
Combs to answer, too strong, rebound, pulled down by Moore. This one will not go. And Katie Moore will go back to the free throw line for 2 after just missing to her previous trip.
Big free throws coming up here. She missed a couple a moment ago. Can you block that out and hit these?
Good on the first one.
Take a look at the replay here, Josh.
Well, she is not afraid of contact, battling amongst 3 Lady Dragons for the rebound. Draws the foul on Macy Charles, misses the second. So a couple of big misses lately for Katie Moore. Now 10 of 13 from the line. Last time they met back on December 19th, she was 13 of 17. 12 of 15 from the floor in that game. Charles for 3, too strong. Moore another rebound and a foul going against Harlan Independent. And that will take us to our media timeout. 4:07 to play in the fourth quarter. Harlan Independent 55-51 over Leslie County. You're listening to the Girls Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com. 55-51, Harlan Independent leading Leslie County. 4:07 to play in the fourth quarter. First round action of the Girls Mountain Classic. Lauren Cash with a sideline report coming up momentarily. We'll get her after the free throws. Katie Moore knocks down the first one. Back down to a 1-possession game. Misses the second one, so some big misses here in the fourth. 2 of 6 for Katie Moore from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. And now we will send it back out to Lauren Cash, who's standing by.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, listening to Coach Acal, he said he's proud of their defense that the Lady Dragons are playing, but they need to be more disciplined in their fouling. He said step up and take the charge if you're going to, or get the rebound. He said when they're either not getting the rebound and then they're not getting back, because he commented on how the Lady Eagles have been to the free throw line at least 3 times within the last minute here.
Thank you very much, Lauren. They've been to the free throw line a lot lately here in the fourth, Tanner, but they've just not converted.
Well, if they did, it would either be tied or they could possibly have the lead. I mean, they're doing the right things to get there. They're just not finishing it off, and that's been the difference. Harlan's had a couple big threes in this second half. Couldn't ask for a better ball game, though, here to close out opening night of the Mountain Classic. Of course, our boys bracket tipping off tomorrow. Knott Central playing Harlan County, Hazard playing Clay County.
The defending champion Hazard Bulldogs.
That's right.
What a run they made last year in the Mountain Classic.
It's going to be a little tougher to defend their title this year. They lost a lot. Lost arguably their 5 best players from last year. And tough matchup in the first round with Clay County.
Shanae Thomas, the three, bounces out, no good. Brooke Asher, another rebound for Leslie County. One possession game and down by 3. Leslie can strike at any time from behind the line. Shelby Sparks is going to take one, no good. Moore almost had another rebound, but Jordan Brock comes away with the loose ball. Boy, Moore's been everywhere on both sides of the ball tonight. Her and Jordan Brock, what a matchup that's been to watch.
There's a good matchup. Sparks, an outstanding defender. Brock gets by her. There's Massengill in the corner.
Another 3, short. Rebound on the weak side, though, by Katie King, and a foul will be called on Leslie County against Katie Moore, her first personal foul. And back into the game, Tanner, for the final 2:21. Emma Bianchi, Mackenzie King for Harlan Independent, Emily Griffith back in for Leslie County. And just having them on the court is huge for the Lady Dragons.
All right, well, the Kings have come up aces for Derica Cal tonight. Katie King and Mackenzie King both playing very well.
Bianchi, double team. Very witty when you come with your sayings.
Don't encourage me.
And we're going to get a foul. Brock double teamed, and they're going to get a foul on Leslie County, Caitlin Farler. Second personal foul. A very quiet night for Farler. Has only attempted 1 free throw, has no points, but she's their defensive specialist. She's played pretty well.
Under 2 minutes to go, crunch time now.
Brock, nice dish off to Bianchi, lays it up for 2.
And Leslie County makes a critical defensive lapse at a time it could not afford to.
Griffith, she'll fire 3, well off the mark, too strong. Rebound out of bounds. Will stay with the Lady Eagles.
Couldn't see it, our view was blocked by one of the officials, but a big call there as Leslie County will get another crack at it on the other side of this timeout, as Harlan has now opened up a 5-point lead with 101 seconds remaining in regulation of this game. Here's a replay.
Well, splits the double team, and Bianchi, Asher leaves her open on the block. An easy bucket for number 20, the 6-foot sophomore. Just her 4th point. She's been plagued by that foul trouble. Her and Mackenzie King both. King hasn't scored since the first, but just their presence alone, that's what it can do for the Lady Dragons.
That's right, and you know, the inside-out game has worked so well because once you start attacking inside and getting those good looks, the defense collapses down. And then Harlan has just been able to step up and hit some open perimeter shots at big times. And when you think critical perimeter shots in this game for Harlan, you think Brooklyn Massengill, who has, what, 3 3-pointers or 4 3-pointers? A 3 at last check. And, you know, they, like I mentioned earlier, they've all come at extremely critical times where maybe Leslie County has gotten to within 2 or 3 points and a 3 has extended the lead back. And, you know, after the first quarter, which was 17-15, at the end of the first quarter, we thought this thing could get into a track meet, but you know, the defenses have stepped up, have settled in, and now you have to maximize each possession. You have to make sure that you're getting the highest quality shot possible, especially if you're Leslie County, and then if the Lady Eagles are able to score, you go for the steal and maybe end up having to foul.
Combs, a 3 out the designed inbounds play, no good. Put back up and in, though, by Brooke Asher. 6 points in the quarter for her. Back down to a 3-point game.
Leslie County has to have a stop.
And Harlan will slow it up. Nice job by Brock to get the ball into front court. And a foul on Katie Moore of Leslie County. That will send Macy Charles to the line for 1 in the bonus. And you were right before. It was 4 3s for Massengill. I lied. I wanted to make you look bad. Can't read my own writing here.
We could have at least waited until we were off the air to do that. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities. That's not a bad foul, though, on Moore. I mean, you're going for the steal, and even if you don't get the steal, you foul with 1:14 left. See, I think a lot of times coaches and teams wait till too late in the game to start fouling. I like starting to foul early.
Free throw rolls off for Charles.
And that's why, see, you've created yourself, you got the stop at the defensive end, you don't give up any points, now you can tie it with a 3. See, it worked out great for Leslie County right there.
65 seconds to play. Leslie down 3. Winner gets Bell County in the Girls Classic Championship on Saturday, and there's a steal by Harlan.
Big turnover. Backbreaker right there.
Excellent double team by the Lady Dragons, forcing Moore to a turnover, and there's a foul in front court by Shelby Sparks. And that will send Jordan Brock to the free throw line for 1 in the bonus. She's got 21 points on the night. A huge second half, 16 of those after halftime. First one up and good.
Big free throw makes it 2 possessions. And the primetime players step up in roles like this and knock down free throws, and Jordan Brock has certainly been that tonight.
Looking over at Coach Acal, he's telling his players, do not foul, stick your position, and rebound.
He's going to call a timeout here after the made free throw. Good timeout, he calls a full timeout, and he's going to assert that to his team now not to foul. Now here's the other thing, Josh. You don't want to just be like a sieve and let Leslie County drive right to the basket, but I think maybe, you know, Harlan has been in this man-to-man much of the game. Maybe you pull an extra man out toward the perimeter to guard against the three-pointer, because if you do give up a basket, you can live with giving up a 2. You don't want to give up a 3, because at this point, Harlan's going to be shooting free throws the rest of the game, and 3 is greater than 2, and with the way Leslie County can shoot it, as you get a look at the replay here on the steal, just a monstrous turnover. A nice steal by Bianchi, but you know, when you look back at the film on this one at the end, that could prove to be the turning point. Is that possession right there, or certainly the point at which Leslie County maybe expended its last greatest opportunity to tie the game.
Leslie County has only made 1 3-pointer the entire game. That was courtesy of Madison Combs way back in the second quarter. Now a 5-point deficit for Leslie County. They've got the basketball, less than 50 seconds to play in this one. Winner gets Bell County, and there's a foul on Mackenzie King. That's going to send her to the bench. She fouls out with 10 points, all in the first quarter. Katie Moore at the line for 2. Katie King checks in for Mackenzie. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, it's not the way Mackenzie wanted to end it, but she certainly started with a bang. And I mean, points are points, no matter whether they're scored in the first quarter or the fourth quarter. And, you know, certainly she gave the Lady Dragons a big lift to start this game. But that's the bad part if you're Harlan, is you give Leslie County a chance to score with the clock stopped.
Katie Moore makes them both.
And now they can set up in their press because she made the second free throw. And Mark Collett goes to his bench, brings in Caitlin Farler, his defensive specialist. Defense for offense substitution there.
You know, I don't want to pinpoint one instance, but how big are those 4 missed free throws from Moore earlier in this quarter?
Especially now that the Lady Eagles are down by 3. They foul right away. They don't get the steal on the inbound, and then they foul. See, I think Mark Collett has managed the end of this game as good as a coach can. You know, his team made some turnovers in some critical times, but I like fouling early. I mean, it kind of muddies the game up, it uglies the game up, but statistically you give yourself the best chance of winning, I think, most of the time when you do that.
Jordan Brock at the line for 1 in the bonus, a 3-point lead for Harlan. Brock is 6 of 6 on the night, make it 7 of 7. I don't think any of them have touched the rim.
Clutch makes it a 2-possession game yet again, but you know, still lots of time. Leslie County, you don't have to, I mean, you can't be leisurely about it, but at the same time, you don't have to necessarily force it. Be quick, but don't hurry, as one of my former coaches used to say.
This is the second, still a 2-possession game though. 35 seconds left in the fourth. Leslie down 4.
Good
and
defense.
A near steal by Bianchi. Excellent defense by Bianchi on Moore, gets it off to Asher for the 2 points. How big has Asher been this fourth quarter? 8 points. A full timeout taken by Leslie County. 25 seconds left, Tanner. 2-point deficit for Leslie. Do you still go for the steal? If not, foul quickly and kind of hope that you can kind of trade a free throw or two for a bucket?
Well, I think this is where Mark Collett or one of his assistants probably has on a chart who the best free throw shooters are for Harlan and who maybe you want to foul in this situation. And you have Farler check back into the game, one of their best defenders. So I think maybe you shade the defense to try to force the Lady Dragons to inbound it to one of their free throw shooters who maybe isn't quite as good from the line as the others, and then if you can get the matchup you want, then you foul her and send her to the line. I mean, you know, you have to play percentages here. You're down by 2 with, you know, less than half a minute to go in the game. It's the old situation where beggars can't be choosers, but at the same time, you can still do whatever you can to put your team in the best position to try to get back in this and scratch out a win. I mean, this is a scenario where, you know, if Harlan comes down and misses a couple free throws, then Leslie can come back up and hit a 3 and win the game. And maybe at this point, you know, I would say steal the victory after, you know, trailing for much of this fourth quarter. So be interesting to see what they dial up defensively here. They do have somebody guarding the inbound man, so that's interesting.
The next foul on Leslie will send Harlan to the line for 2. They will be in the double bonus.
They got the trap.
And a foul on Brooke Asher will send Katie King to the line. She's 2 for 2, just 2 points on the night, both of those coming way back in the second quarter. So Macy Charles missed one a little earlier. She has not been a huge factor offensively. Now Katie King, both points coming from the line in the second. Here she is again for 2 more. Trying to again make it a 2-possession game with both free throws if she can hit them. First one, too strong.
So no matter what, even if she hits this one, Leslie County is not out of it.
Shelby Sparks back into the game for the Lady Eagles, along with Combs, Asher, Moore, and Griffith. Second one for King is up and good.
Leslie County still has a timeout left, Josh, down by 3. We'll see what Mark Collett does here.
Katie Moore, right wing. She wants to shoot it. They're not giving her any space. Thought about it. She wants it bad, Tanner. She wants to shoot it.
They got to hurry.
She's on Bianchi. Drives in, throws up a wild shot. No good. Asher with the board to Combs for 3. No good. Too strong. Rebound, Massengill. And we're going to have a walk on Massengill.
0.9 seconds showing on the clock. Less than a second remaining. And Leslie County will have the ball. They have to have a 3-pointer. Moore drove the lane and took a 2. That would only have pulled them to within 1 even if it went in. So this is really interesting, Josh, because you have to shoot it as soon as you catch it. I mean, there's certainly no time for a pass. Maybe you get one dribble in, I don't know, because you factor in the human error, 0.2, 0.3, from the time they catch it to the time you start the clock to get the shot off. Let's take a look at the replay as Massengill, if she grabs that rebound cleanly, she can probably dribble the clock out and in this game. But let's see. Yep, she traveled. There was some contact there.
Asher got her hand on the ball, but Massengill controlled it throughout, and a huge turnover for the Lady Dragons. 0.9 on the clock. You know Harlan's going to be looking at Katie Moore to take this shot. Madison Combs has the only 3-pointer they've hit all game. Those are the 2 biggest threats on this team.
How about this game, though? A Mountain Classic drama on night 1. Winner marches on to the championship game. Loser will take on Clay County for 3rd place. A second left to decide this one, Josh.
Combs the inbounder. Here we go. They're setting a play up for Moore in the corner. She lets it go. Goal! At the buzzer, Katie Moore.
Katie, you're kidding me. Wow. Overtime in the Mountain Classic. How about the play that was drawn up by Mark Collett? The pass to the corner. Wow.
That could not have been executed any more perfectly. Here we go. Here's another look at it. Combs, a couple of screens set for Moore. The perfect pass from Combs to Moore in one motion, lets it fly. Nothing but the bottom of the nylon.
And that was good, too. Good call by the officials to count that one. She got it off just before the buzzer.
Wow, and we are playing 4 extra minutes, 61-61.
Well, this was such a great game. We should have known better than to think it would be decided in regulation.
So here we go. Mackenzie King for Harlan Independent is out. She fouled out with 10 points. Emma Bianchi, 4 fouls. Katie King, 4 fouls. No real foul trouble to speak of for Leslie. Emily Griffith, Caitlin Farler, and Brooke Asher all have 3 apiece. But Tanner, here in the second half, it's been all Jordan Brock and Katie Moore for their respective teams, and we're going to need 4 more minutes to decide this one.
Yeah, they got to jump this one up at center circle. I think that's what the officials are trying to get the players together. It's been so long since the opening tip.
61 all. What a play drawn up by Mark Collett and his staff to get that 3-pointer out of that timeout. Perfect. And Harlan County's got the tip.
Harlan City.
Harlan City, I swear.
Harlan County will tip off tomorrow in the boys
I keep
bracket.
looking ahead to tomorrow. Still got this one to worry about first, and it's been a doozy.
We may have the best game of the Mountain Classic on night 1.
Bianchi playing with those 4 fouls, guarded by Asher. Backs her down, and nice save by Brock.
Man, she's just made play after play in this one.
And Shelby Sparks is all over her defensively. Man-to-man still for the Lady Eagles. They've been that way most of the night. Brock just inside the free throw line, short. Rebound Asher. Outlook pass to Griffith. Blocked by Bianchi, but they're going to get her with a foul.
Look at that Leslie County sideline, man. Every single one of them up on their feet cheering on that steal. Leslie County has all the momentum right now. And that's the 5th foul on Bianchi.
Fouls out with 4 points, so really, Tanner, the only 2 players that have played in the post tonight for Harlan are out. Mackenzie King and Emma Bianchi both played fantastic basketball games. And Emily Griffith at the line here in overtime for 2 shots. First one's good. Am I correct in saying that's the first lead for Leslie since the second quarter?
You are correct. And remember, Harlan led this thing by 9 points in the third quarter and then led by 3 with less than a second to go. And Katie Moore hitting the corner 3 to send it to overtime. And now everything going Leslie County's way. Let's quickly check in with Lauren, see what she has for us.
Pretty much what you guys have just said. And listening to both of the huddles, there couldn't have been 2 more opposite emotions. One, high-fiving cheers. One, very serious tone. And Coach Hickhouse says, be careful. You've got 4 fouls. A lot of them do. And you just saw Emma Bianchi foul out with her 5th foul. So very different emotions. Let's see. Leslie County has the momentum right now, guys.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Katie King battling down low. She's got 4 fouls for Harlan. But she will be awarded for her efforts with 2 free throws to try and tie this game up. She was 1 of 2 just a couple of moments ago in the 4th. First one, no good. That last foul on Brooke Asher of Leslie, her 4th foul.
Yeah, both teams, now that we're into overtime, it's a war of attrition. Harlan's already lost 2 players to foul trouble.
Second one bounces in for King.
It's going to be that way the rest of the way. Who can step up?
Less than 3 to play. First round action of the Girls Mountain Classic. Leslie County 63, Harlan Independent 62. The winner will face Bell County on Saturday night, the defending Girls Mountain Classic champions. Well, they're not letting Moore have much space at all to work with the basketball as Macy Charles. Quiet night offensively with just 2 points, but she's played some good defense. And an illegal pick set by Shelby Sparks.
Oh, man, that's a big call. With 2:23 to go in overtime and Harlan down by a point. Well, Harlan's offense has dried up a little bit over the last few minutes of overtime and regulation, but the defense has really stepped up for them. and they were walking the other way like they were going to shoot free throws, but that's an offensive foul, so you don't shoot the bonus there in that situation. So Harlan going to have to score out of one of its half-court sets, and Leslie County, with the way they've been playing defense, it has made that difficult to do.
Whether it's a shot, whether it's a turnover, whether it's a call, there's been some big moments in this one. Jordan Brock can't get that one to fall. Rebound, Katie Moore.
Got a good look at it, just didn't fall.
And they're going to reset the offense. 2 minutes to play. Leslie with a 1-point lead. Asher, guarded by King, off the glass and in.
Well, a good job of playing face up. Asher spun, put a couple dribbles down, and spun back to the middle. Great job using her body to create her shot, to create some space. Gives Leslie County a 3-point lead. I'm not sure the Lady Eagles have had this much breathing room all game, if you call a 3-point lead breathing room.
Nice Euro step by Brock for the deuce.
Boy, she just has every move in her arsenal, doesn't she?
Katie Moore the other way, nice dish off to Asher, blocked by Shanae Thomas, and Jordan Brock will be fouled at half court.
That is a big swing right there, the last two possessions. Harlan down 3, Brock goes inside, cuts it to 1, then at the other end, there's her cutting it to 1. You called it the Euro step. And then she comes up with the pilfer, and now at the free throw line can hit both of them and put Harlan back in front. Just a big swing there, a big sequence in overtime here.
First one rolls in.
Nice touch.
Well, you and I have had the privilege of calling some great basketball games during Mountain Classic week.
Yeah, I know. I need to just start renting a defibrillator for a week every year, the second week of January.
Second one for Brock is up and nothing but net. Harlan now with a 1-point lead and a timeout taken by Derica Cal of the Lady Dragons, 66-65. Lady Dragons on top of Leslie County. 1:20 to play. Leslie County will have the ball out of the timeout. Down by 1, and Tanner, it's really the only players to score in the fourth quarter and beyond. Katie Moore, Brooke Asher, and Emily Griffith hit those 2 free throws a couple of moments ago. Other than that, that's been it after the third quarter for Leslie County.
That's right, and I think you can't really say enough about the fight of Harlan to get back into this one as we go back to the steal. That initiated Brock getting fouled at the other end, and then she hit the 2 free throws. But, you know, Harlan could have very easily folded. You know, they had this game seemingly won. Katie Moore hits the 3 at the buzzer of regulation to send it into overtime. You get down by 3 points, and now a little 4-0 spurt. All 4 points from Jordan Brock to go back in front, 66-65. Now, can you reach down deep within yourself and come up with a good defensive stop here if you're Harlan? And if you're Leslie County, you've absorbed so many punches tonight, and every time you've come back with a punch of your own, but this is where you have to come back and throw yet another counter punch. Do the Lady Eagles have it in them? We'll see right here.
Both teams on their jumpers have been short the last little bit. Katie Moore taking it to the hole.
Great play design. Came off a screen, just a little curl into the lane. She really knows how to use the glass, understands the angles. Great job.
It's almost like both teams know they're a little bit winded, so they're driving more than the jump shots. And Brock nearly walked with it, but kicked it back out to Thomas. We're now less than a minute to play. Harlan down 1. Thomas thought about the 3. That would have been huge had she connected on it. 35 seconds. Brock, fall away over Asher, no good. Rebound, Katie Moore of Leslie.
Great defense by Leslie County. Harlan gonna have to foul.
We'll see what they decide to do, how long they wait.
You don't want to foul Katie Moore, though.
Charles on her, gets a screen set by Griffith. Charles all over Moore.
Almost 5 seconds. Nope, they called the count off.
And a timeout. Mark Collett with 12.7. So that's close to 20 seconds that have ticked off the clock, if not more.
Yeah, Harlan let way too much time go by before fouling there. But, you know, Katie Moore was very close to being hit with a 5-second call. because the official over here on the near side was at about 4.5 before Mark Collett recognized it and called that timeout.
We'll see how long Harlan waits to foul if they can't get the steal out of the timeout. Just more than 12 seconds on the clock. Leslie County up 1. They were down 3 at the end of the fourth with less than 1 second to play, and then a perfectly drawn up play for Katie Moore off the inbounds. Nails the 3 to send it to overtime. And in overtime, Leslie County a 1-point lead over the Lady Dragons.
Don't forget Katie Moore, the go-ahead bucket here in overtime too. And I would imagine that's who the Lady Eagles will try to inbound it to and get to the free throw line. Remember, she had some big misses in the fourth quarter, but that's who you want to have the ball in these pivotal moments. This is a tough inbound angle though, Josh. Look at where they're going to be throwing it in. That's Madison Combs inbounding it. Not a whole lot of room to work with. Yep, they get it to Moore.
And Macy Charles will commit the foul. About a 1.5 seconds ticked off. Macy Charles, that's her 3rd. Katie Moore at the line for 2. Her first free throw attempts of overtime.
Remember, even if she hits them both, Harlan can come back up and hit a 3.
First one bounces in. A little short, but it rolled in for Moore, who's now hit 3 straight since those big misses midway through the fourth. Second one up, also good.
Big.
3-point game, 10 seconds to play. What will Harlan do? Brock.
You're down 3, but you
around
can take
Asher,
it to.
no good. Moore with the rebound, and Leslie County will escape over Harlan Independent, 69-66. Your final score. What a basketball game.
Wow. Leslie County looked down and out. They fight back from being down as many as 9 points. Katie Moore ties the game at 61 at the end of regulation on a last-second three-pointer, and then takes over in overtime to send Leslie County to the Mountain Classic Championship against Bell County. How about the fight from that group right there? And you have to feel heartbroken for Coach Derek Acal and his Harlan Lady Dragons. They fought valiantly. It seemed like they had this game won, but certainly you tip your cap to them. They'll get a consolation game against Clay County for 3rd place in the Girls Mountain Classic. And Lauren Cash is standing by with the victorious head coach and his star point guard. Lauren, take it away.
Katie, just talk us through that last bucket. We all knew it was going to you, but what was your mindset?
Well, my mindset was there's 0.9 seconds. I need to catch the ball, and this shot is going in. I said, I am not losing this game. I'm going to the championship.
You guys trailed for most of the game. What did you guys tell each other in the huddle and just stay focused and know that you guys can get this?
We just kind of had to keep our defense going. We knew that our shots were eventually going to fall, but our free throws weren't great. If we would have made a lot more of our free throws, we probably would have had a little bit better of a time. But we just kept saying, play hard on defense.
You're going to the Mountain Classic Championship on Saturday. What's that mean?
Oh, that means everything to me, because last year as a junior, we didn't play great at all in this classic. And we all wanted to do this, just especially the seniors, because this was our last go-around, and it means everything to me.
Thank you, Katie. Congratulations. Coach, I guess 3rd time's the charm for the games here. You guys talked about before the game how you didn't play very well in the previous Mountain Classic. Took extra time in this one, but how's it feel?
We want to make it fun for everybody. Why not stay here till about 10 or 10:30 now? A lot of credit to Harlan and Coach Acal. Great job. They really had a lot more going than just a 3-point shot tonight. So he had a great game plan. But my kids were very resilient tonight. It wasn't our best game of basketball, but I felt like we just kind of hung in there. You know, it took us to 0.9 seconds left to kind of give us a shot to have an opportunity to win.
Tanner and Josh were highly complimentary of your late game, how you handled the situations, you know, fouling early and giving your girls the opportunity late game to stay in it.
Yeah, you got to extend the game. And we've got to be smart, too, about who to foul. You know, we misfouled Brock there late, and she's going to make them every time she steps to the line. But our kids got smart there out of a timeout and fouled some people that wasn't shooting the free throws very well for Harlan. And it gave us some extra shots, which was kind of the difference maker there. late in regulation and late in overtime.
You guys got Bell County Saturday in the championship game. What's that mean?
They're really good. You know, we play them. You know, we're close. We play all summer. We play against each other a couple times in the summer. So we're looking forward to the challenge. We know it's going to be a challenge. We've got a player like Morris, and that's not all they have. 23, the big kid inside 55. They're all very solid players. We've got our work cut out for us, but we're happy to be in this championship game. And you know, great job from my kids, kind of hanging in there. I knew we had a chance if we could just stay the course and weather their storms. And you know what? Say Katie Moore busting a three. You know, people, who am I going to give the ball to in a late game situation? She's going to score 3,000 plus points. But great shot for her. We hung in there from everyone. Madison Combs hung in there, didn't shoot the ball well tonight. Brooke Asher played really strong on the interior against Harlan's team, who were better on the inside than I've seen them play all year.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you all very much.
Guys.
Thank you very much, Lauren. 69-66 in overtime. Leslie County over Harlan Independent to advance to the Girls Classic Championship game on Saturday night. Let's take a look one more time, Tanner, at the game-tying three-pointer. Less than a second to play by Katie Moore. 3 of her game-high 32 points.
She was about a foot behind the arc, too.
Nothing but net. Kind of falling away on that one as well. And this one in overtime to put the Lady Eagles up for good. Nice strong take to the bucket, surrounded by Lady Dragon defenders. Jordan Brock led the way for Harlan with 28 points, 21 for Brooke Asher and Leslie County. And Leslie County, I don't think it's going to be as big a difference as last year when they played Bell 67-43 on Saturday.
No, Leslie County is better than last year. Certainly Bell County is more experienced, but, you know, this is the kind of game that can really catapult your team. You know, you're playing for a championship. You know, you've got the jitters from playing on TV out of your system, and you can just let it all hang loose and just say, hey, we're going to go out and have fun and try to win a championship. So I definitely don't think that Leslie County, Bell County game will be as lopsided as last year's game, which was an opening round game. Obviously, they'll be meeting Saturday for the championship. But, Josh, before we sign off, we'd be remiss if we did not thank our fine production crew.
As always.
Behind our executive producer, the indelible Nathan Little, our director, Dustin Turner, his brother Jonathan Turner on graphics, Freddie Hunt, Jesse Reif, Alex and Anthony Sizemore, our camera operators, our crew chief, Greg Creech, Dennis Hudson, the Harlan alum, operating our SAT truck, and then Kevin C. Hill working the controls back at WYMT Master Control. He's helped produce every Mountain Classic since 1988. Kevin, a big thank you to you and our sideline reporters tonight. Anthony Bersalia for the first game, Lauren Cash for the second game. And Josh, it's just been a privilege and an honor. This is one of those games where it's fun to do, but at the end you sit back and say, wow, it was a real privilege to be a part of that.
Oh, you're exactly right. And how does the rest of the week measure up to this game? It was a blast.
We may have had the best game of the tournament on opening night. I hope not. I hope we have many more like it the rest of this week.
Exactly. The girls take a break until Thursday. The boys get underway tomorrow, Knott Central and Harlan County at 6:30. At 8:30, the defending Classic champion Hazard Bulldogs and Clay County. Until then, from everyone, from us to you, thank you for watching. We will see you tomorrow from the Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com.